Okay, so the film we're talking about today is actually having its 30-year anniversary this week, and I really enjoy this film because it's a film about a psychopath. And I'm not even talking about the theory yet. The film in question is obviously Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and the psychopath is Ferris Bueller. Because if you really watch the film, this is a kid who just throws caution to the wind. He does not care what the hell he does as long as he has his fucking day. And by God, that's why we love him. But yeah, regardless of that, the theory I'm talking about, just want to lay it out there. I do not believe that this theory is true. It's just a really interesting theory and a really cool, new way to watch the film. It's just an alternate look at the film, and it's honestly just tons of fun. But yeah, without further ado, let's just get to it. Is Ferris Bueller a figment of Cameron Frye's imagination? Alright, before we start, just want to lay it out there. Okay, spoiler alert. Spoiler alert pretty much for the whole damn film, due to the fact that I will be ruining every single part of this film. And also, if you don't really know, spoiler alert for Fight Club. So if you don't know anything about Fight Club and you want to know about it, get the hell out of here now. So just leave. Go. Yeah. But yeah, the reason why I'm giving you a spoiler alert for Fight Club is because, well, this theory is, called the Fight Club or Ferris Club Theory because this theory is pretty much the plot of Fight Club just integrated into Ferris Bueller's Day Off. And essentially, the main subject is Cameron Frye. And Ferris Bueller just happens to be his imaginary friend, or at least a figment of his imagination that allows him to, he lives through. It's not entirely clear whether, he's still in bed dreaming all of this up, or he's actually going out, he stole his dad's car, and he's actually, gallivanting around the streets, and he's just imagining that he's not doing it, but his friend is forcing him to do it. Regardless, let's get down to the details. Essentially, as I stated before, one day Cameron is, sick in bed, and he just decides, just out of the blue, to just go and just take a day off. And essentially, he goes on a huge adventure, just pretty much traveling pretty much the big parts of Chicago. On top of this, the very mystical and kind of unreal vibe we get from Ferris Bueller himself is kind of displayed throughout the town and the school. Well, the whole school is pretty much left in shambles because of one student not showing up. That's a little ridiculous. Again, we're gonna buy it for the actual film, but in the sense of this theory, the safe Ferris messages on the water tower and the kids trying to collect money is essentially him trying to at least he wants someone to care about him. It's just wishful thinking. It's his imagination running wild, yes, but it's his internal need for someone to care about him. He wants that for him. He wants the whole town for some odd reason to pretty much come to a screeching halt because he's sick. And another thing that actually works with this is when Ferris Bueller breaks the fourth wall, he doesn't exist. He's kind of this imaginary barrier, the fourth wall between us, the audience, and Cameron Frye. This is why he talks to us directly. He's his inner thoughts. So it's kind of the noir voice, a narration. Maybe this is just another way to see the actual personification of Ferris Bueller is actually his inner workings, his inner thoughts, and we get to actually get to step in, get to talk with him. Again, we're not actually get to respond to him, but he gets to talk to us. Not to mention, Cameron does seem like the kind of guy that would actually do this. I mean, from the beginning, we see him as a very reclusive kind of guy. He, as stated by Ferris Bueller, he's the only guy that he knows that actually feels better when he's sick. Growing up in his house, it was very cold and very beautiful, but he's not allowed to touch anything. And his whole life has just been it's a very restrictive childhood. His whole life was he was pretty much raised to believe that he is worthless. So essentially, Ferris Bueller is Cameron Frye's Tyler Durden. I mean, Cameron himself doesn't have the backbone to do these things himself, but Ferris is there as his enabler. Again, it's unclear if all the events are just in his head, or if he legitimately stole his dad's car as a sign of rebellion, and actually went around town by himself while at the same time imagining these friends of his. Which, by the way, Sloane. How does Sloane get into this? Well, Sloane may actually be, like the typical 80s film, the kid is always pining over a girl. Maybe Sloane is that, his crush, in school, and he's always trying to talk to her, but she never notices him. Well, in this case, I guess, I'm not saying he kidnapped her, I mean, obviously there'd be signs of that, but maybe he's actually just imagining her there as well. And Ferris is his version, that it's that version of himself that he would like to, you know, have the courage to be able to talk to Sloane. And at the very end, you know, like the storybook ending, we're like, oh, he's gonna marry me. Well, that's what he would love to do. But again, it's not in the cards because he's not really Ferris Bueller. So essentially, that's like the basic principle of the whole theory. But I know I did say that this is not a true theory at all. Like, obviously, this isn't what the filmmakers intended. But there are certain things that you could actually, if you wanted to, I don't know if you, I personally don't, but if you wanted to, you could actually back up this theory as fact, but only certain little details. For one example, this is the one that actually made me think, holy shit, this actually might be possible. But at the same time, obviously not, because, you know, the film runs itself and there's obviously different characters, different things. By the way, Rooney is his like underlying like his want to be caught. It's like the principal's not actually running around town trying to find one student. Again, I get it for the film, but if it was Cameron Frye, nobody gives a shit. But yeah, besides that, in the scene where we first meet Cameron, he's in his bed, lying there, fucking pretty much looks like he's dying. At one point, he's talking to Ferris on the phone, and then he hangs up. And then he just flat out says, "I'm dying." Then his phone rings again, and he answers it, and he says, "And this is Ferris. You're not dying. You just can't find anything better to do." How the hell would Ferris know what he's saying? That scene is just straight out of like Fight Club, where it's like, he was nowhere near, it just pretty much thought, holy crap. Again, in the film, he knows his friend so damn well that he knows what he's saying. Like it's like telepathy. You know your friend so damn well, you can finish each other's sentences. I get that. But in this case, the scene kind of like, you know, runs off as like, was that like in his mind? It's like, is he imagining all of this? On top of that just scene, we also do see that, you know, Cameron is a little, you know, not crazy, but like, he's very prone to be able to talk to himself. I mean, in the scene right after that, Ferris says, "I bet you $20 he's like in his car debating whether he wants to go out or not." And we see, you know, Cameron in his car, pretty much just sitting there, looking down to the steering wheel, and just starting to talk to himself. He'll keep calling me. You'll keep making me feel guilty. This is ridiculous. I'll go. Shit. And he turns off his car, and then he starts screaming, and you know the rest. I mean, essentially that scene, I mean, yes, it's a comedic scene. It's supposed to, like, you know, indecisiveness. I get it. But again, due to the fact that, you know, if you're watching the film with this theory in mind, it really works with it. I mean, I just love the fact that how he's just like, it's just like, he's having this mental battle in his head. And it's like the same mental battle he was just having with Ferris on the phone just a few seconds ago. It's just a really cool way, and it just represents like loneliness, but at the same time, like, you just talking to yourself. And obviously, I'm pretty sure a lot of us have done that before, but it's like, it's just a cool way to see this. I'm just saying it. It's just a cool scene, especially in respect to this theory. And to end things off, the ending shot of Cameron after he says he'll take the blame, pretty much him taking the persona, like pretty much saying, "I don't need Ferris Bueller anymore. This is me. I will finally take ownership of what happened." This kind of leads me to believe that maybe the events did happen. So like him driving around, actually, you know, like just driving around, you know, Chicago, actually stealing his dad's car, could have actually happened. But yeah, he's taking blame. He's finally become a man, and that slow zoom in or like a dolly in on his face. It's just like the perfect ending to like a film. I mean, that's like a movie closing shot. And there was one other thing. Again, I need to keep fucking saying this. I don't believe in this theory. It's just a cool way to watch the film. But I did try to see that if it was possible. I mean, because I remember I said, oh, maybe it's in his head, or maybe because if it was in his head, I mean, obviously it would make sense because he does so many things in one day that's impossible to do in one day. And well, if he did do it, it would be impossible. Hence, it should be in his head. Well, I did pretty much the whole. Okay, look. I tried to see if it was possible. I pretty much crunched the numbers. I tried to see the distances, like the actual routes. Yes, I'm sick. I don't give a shit. I just really like this theory. But yeah. I found out that due to all the time constraints, all the things, all the events of the film, him going to, like, you know, the Sears Tower, to the stock exchange, going to Wrigley Field, everything is actually possible. Because pretty much the day would start out at 8 a.m. At least that's when school usually starts. And then the day, as shown in the film, ends at 6. Ferris Bueller checks Sloane's watch, and it says 5:50. He says, "Oh shit, I gotta get home," because most likely his parents will get home at 6. And again, try to see if it makes sense. I'm gonna put this stuff up right now. These are like pretty much the writings of a madman trying to see if all this shit works. And surprisingly, yes, the numbers do match up. And again, you have to be rushing, but remember what Ferris Bueller said in the beginning, I gotta make this day count. And also when they're at the Sears Tower, they even say, let's go, we got a lot to do. So like, they're obviously in a rush. He has a plan, he has a set plan to do everything. So as long as he timed everything, timed all the routes, make sure that even accounting for traffic, it's actually possible. And that's pretty crazy. But yeah, again, I'm not talking about this theory because I really just want to, prove it and all that shit. I just want to talk about it because it's a great damn theory. And this film is turning 30 years old. That is a feat for, well, essentially, oh yeah, movie's 30 years old, whatever. But the fact that this film is still being watched today and it's still culturally relevant because it's a freaking just a great film for like the rebellious teenager. It's just a fun movie to watch. Very unrealistic, I get it. Certain things, I mean, again, as I stated before, Ferris Bueller is a psychopath. I mean, the shit he does is a little ridiculous. Even in the original script, he was more of an asshole due to the fact that, well, he actually stole his dad's money. Not even a joke, look this up. But yeah, regardless, it's a damn great film. And if you've never heard of this theory, watch it with this mindset. Again, not trying to think that, oh, this is how the film was intended to be. No, just watch it with this mindset, and it shows this truly, unique look. Again, whatever, Fight Club did it, but in this sense, this young individual who pretty much has had his whole life just go to shit, just have one day for himself, and he was able to do this because of an imaginary friend. Well, that's the video. And yeah, again, if you haven't seen this film, well, shit, I just spoiled the whole damn movie for you. What the hell's wrong with you? But I guess you could still enjoy this film no matter what. But yeah, happy 30-year anniversary. God rest his soul, John Hughes. We freaking love you. And this is a damn good movie, and it's gonna just keep going. I mean, this movie's probably never gonna lose popularity due to the fact that it's just a damn timeless film. But regardless, that's the video. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. Just tap my glasses there. And I'll see you guys later.